native Samuel Vera invaded the comic book world by starting his own company, Crazy Comics. From early on, illustrating came naturally for Vera.
And here to share his sci-fi adventure series with us, Samuel Vera with There's an Alien in My Toilet. Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good,
Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
This is so exciting.
At the Kids Comic Conference.
As publishers, need to make certain that we have something for everybody.
Very much. And tell me about this little green guy. This is kind of your signature character, right?
Yes, there's an alien in my toilet.
My name is Samuel Vera, and I'm the creator, writer, and artist of There's an Alien in My Toilet.
Your little thing with Santa Claus and aliens invading Earth and deciding Santa Claus is the guy that got to go after would make a wonderful animated series.
There's an Alien in My Toilet, which is my newest project, which is a comedy series in all ages, comedy adventures.
Well, Doodie's been exploited right now because he has a cameo in the adventure of Cosmic Dwarf. He's in Doodie's Adventures, he's in There's an Alien in My Toilet, he's in Hi, I'm Doodie from Uranus, he's all over the place. It's all about Doodie right now. Project Doodie! So with the success of There's an Alien in My Toilet, I started thinking about having a prototype toy, because now my mind went from comic book creator to a brand creator. I was thinking of Doodie as a brand, and so I met Mask Masters at a comic book convention, a small comic. I think it was the New York Comic Show. It was at a hotel in the city, and that's how I met Nino Messinera. And he had the unbelievable laundry detergent man, and Mask Masters, he commissioned them to do his costume. So I started talking with Mask Masters about developing the toy. So this was some of the prototype, the early, just want to go over here for a second, image. The early side shots from Mask Masters. This is a clay mold, right? So I sent him the Doodie designs, the specs, and he got to work on the clay, and he would send me the shots of Doodie. There's the front shot, and then you had the side shot, and there's Doodie as he starts putting, working on the torso, the belt, the holster, and it just started coming along, and I got so excited, and so this is where he ended up with the final phase, right? So you can see that this is clay sculpt, and it became latex, used latex mold. But I was excited. I was so excited to have my first prototype Doodie doll. Not only that, and I'm just showing all sides of the doll. But not only that, was to see the character that I envisioned in my head come to life. Was probably the most exciting part of it, and Doodie became such an attraction that we had a Doodie fan. I only sold one, and this is one of the Doodie fans that actually got the lucky fan that actually owns that one, and that box I designed. So it is an oversized box. So basically, it was simple. I just designed the interior cover in the rear, and I bought a bundle of plastic boxes, C2 boxes, and I filled it up with green popcorn and with a Doodie doll, and it also came with the graphic novel. And this gentleman here was a true Doodie fan. He had everything that I ever created for Doodie, whether it was the kids books, the trading cards, the t-shirts, the one prototype doll that I sold back in I think that was 2008, I believe, at the Big Apple Comic Con. So this helps me segue into where I'm going with Doodie for the Kickstarter. So here was a look back, and now let's take a look forward. So again, we're going to go forward with Doodie, this was the original package design. This was the front of it, right? And again, I didn't didn't have that skill when it comes to, you know, toy box designs. I just wanted something that I can actually put on display. And that was the front, and this was the back, and it basically just had the shirts and some of the other stuff in the website on there. Now, this time around on the Kickstarter, I'm offering another prototype. So there's only 7 in existence, and this is the box. And so I designed the box, all 4 sides of the box, and I kept the box the Doodie green, the Doodie color green. And so I'm offering this on the Kickstarter, just 1 of the 6. So there's 7 in existence. It's a prototype doll. It's not a toy. It's a collectible. And so this is the box. So I'm going to show you and go through my mindset on why I created the box with this look. So Doodie, originally when I created Disneyland My Toilet, I also created doodiesworld.com, right? And it was the all information about Doodie, whether it's Doodie's Adventures, Hi, I'm Doodie from Uranus, Disneyland My Toilet. Everything about Doodie was on that website. It was interactive, it was educational. So I brought that back, and what you see on that on the top, where you see all the Doodie characters flying out of the globe, that's actually Uranus. So then what you'll learn when you read the comic books, you'll learn about who are We Are Not Alone Incorporated, which is Wana, and No Boo For You, Catching Ghosts Is What We Do. You'll learn about them as well in the series. But this was the cover. I wanted an image of the prototype. I wanted it to be colorful and pop. You know, make sure everyone knows not for commercial use. It's a prototype, it's a collectible, and it basically from the pages they see in My Toilet, and the colors I wanted vibrant, right? So that was that's one of the front side, and here's one of the sides. So I took a page from the book, and you know, basically just superimposed that page with the toilet and Project Doodie. Project Doodie was the animation that I was working on, and with the help of aspiring animator Tracy Alford. And so this was one of the side, and this is actually a page from the book, and that's the side shot. And here's the other side of the book. So I took another page from the book, same premise, you know, focusing on My Toilet. Project Doodie is the project, and it's just a scene from the book where Doodie is basically arguing with an animal from the woods. And here's the back. So in the back, basically just give the dimensions of the character. Basically, he's 7.5 inches tall, 4 inches in depth, and 5 inches wide. And this is the proof, and this is the turnarounds. So in talking about the packaging, here's the finished product. So this is the box. This is the prototype box. And again, as I said, I'm very excited. Number one, first of all, I'm excited about this box. It took about 3 weeks to a month from designing it to sending it in to approving the proofs to getting the finished one. So there's 2 boxes. One's for me to have on display here. The other one is going on the Kickstarter, and inside the box, one lucky person, one collector, will get a prototype Doodie doll. This is awesome. And not only will they get the doll, but they'll get the full package of Disneyland My Toilet. Everything that's offered on the campaign. And for more, sign up on the landing page. But this is the prototype box, and this is all 4 sides, and it's the Doodie green. I'm excited about this. So you can see that I gave it a lot of thought. From the first time I created a box, I really didn't know what I was doing, to this one I really took my time with. And if you haven't signed up to the Kickstarter, I hope you do, because this is going to be amazing. Not just the toy, but also the comic book, and a whole lot more that's coming along with it.
Crazy Comics is not only funny, it's also a learning tool with puzzles and trivia questions.
I wanted to use comic books as an educational tool to inspire kids that comics is not just fun, but it's also educational, and education is fun and can be fun. So I use Doodie as my spokesperson, and because it's a science fiction book, I use science questions, like the distance between Earth and the sun.
Vera is equal parts illustrator and proud Latino. The effort and pride he puts into his characters are not just to entertain, he also hopes to get a valuable message across.
Doodie is not a quitter, no matter how fed, he gets beat, no matter what he gets into, he still refuses to acknowledge defeat and he goes forward. And I think that's basically what I'm trying to relate in my stories is, you know what, anything's possible. Don't take no for an answer. The only person that's going to stop you is you.
So while I touched on the 3D animation, I want to talk about my first attempt at creating an animation for Disneyland My Toilet. And at that time, I was pretty proficient in Flash. And there was an artist, Eric Black, who created an animated series called Marcus Piblo. And he was very successful online, built his business based on the animated series that he created. And it was Robot Pegasus, I believe. And so in Flash, you have to create a series of shapes and objects and all that stuff. So here was an eye, right? So I was creating the shape for the eye, and that was the eye open, wide open. And this here is with the eyelid, and I gotta zoom in with all this stuff. I don't know why it's acting up. So there's with the eyelid that way, and then here's with the angry look. Right, so when your eye is scowling, that was the angry look, and then this was where I would attach the eyes as layers onto the face. Right, so I created this one image of Doodie sitting behind the console in the UFO, and then I would have the eyes on a layer, and then through a sequence of keys. It would change and move and animate, and so here was like the look into the UFO as it would go in, and then I had like leaves in different shaped leaves because the leaves would fall, right? And again, I gotta zoom in for you guys because everything's so dang small, right? So these are 3 different shapes of leaves, and the leaves would fall. Then I would, then the arms, right? Because Doodie would run. So I needed to run. So I would do the left arm, the right arm in different positions, right? This is when he's running straight forward. This is when he's running sideways. This is when his hand's up, right? So when you're running, your hands are in the air. And then I would create his legs. All in different layers, so every one of them was a separate image, right? This mountain scene I did in Bryce, and this was Doodie's mouth open as he's screaming. Here's the other side of the arm with the hand fisted. The right arm, well, this would be the left arm running towards you. Here's the other hand open. This is Doodie again, screaming, right? So you have the different faces, right? So you had 1, 2, 3. Same thing with the UFO. So if you look at the UFO here, right, and this UFO, what do you see different? So here you see the lines on the UFO, the straight lines positioned. There's 2 facing you, and then if you look at this image, is 1. So if you go back and forth, all I needed was 2 images, and it looked like the UFO was constantly moving, right? And that's all I did. So I took the same image and I just colored it, and then put the lines, positioned lines differently. Here's another shot of the arm, and here's another shot of Doodie's his torso, side shot with a book bag on. Here's his head without anything, because I would have the eyes again on another layer. Here's his torso, that's his belly, it just looks like a pear. And the same premise would be for the squirrels, right? So here is the squirrel's hand, here is the squirrel's leg, here's the squirrel's torso, the squirrel's tail, and the tail here. So I'd have the tail, 2 different shapes of the tail, actually 3 different shapes, and so everything was shapes. And here's a tree that I just had in as a backdrop. Here's another eye, and that is how I put everything together, and this here is the animation that we're talking about. Doodie started to take off, I got invited to have my art featured in the Color of Comics gallery in the Bronx. And Alex Simmons was one of the organizers of this event, and he also organizes the Kids Comic Con. He also does RG Comics. He's big in comic books industry. So and so I was flabbergasted, taken back, and I was, wow, this is awesome. And so there we are at the gallery. My first time there, my first time having my stuff featured, and there's Doodie on the wall, Cowboy Doodie, and I'm there. That's Ray Felix, another friend of mine. He does Bronx Heroes Comic Con, and there's Doodie on the wall, and you can see this under my toilet, Samuel Vera. Again, highlight the kids there. They were excited about Disneyland My Toilet, about Doodie, excited about my history and breaking into independent comic books, and there was a lot of questions. It was fun, exciting. Again, one of my fondest memories. I was also featured on a lot of media. So when I look back at the beginnings, I can't help but think of the journey and the future of Disney in my toilet.